History does not remember those who complain about the cards they were dealt. History remembers those who quietly flip the table, redefine the rules of the game, and refuse to accept the fate imposed upon them. While most people think within the limits of what they have, a rare few eliminate those limits entirely. And that is where true power begins. Julius Caesar rose to dominance backed by the disciplined and massive legions of Rome. His ascent was a testament to mastering an existing system and wielding its power with precision. But history is not written solely by those who rise within powerful structures. It is also shaped by those who begin with none. On the vast, unforgiving steppes of Asia, where survival itself was a privilege, there was an outcast child. He had no army, no title, no system to rely on. The only thing he possessed was the harsh reality of his environment. That child would one day become Genghis Khan, the architect of one of the largest empires in human history. Genghis Khan's story is not about being born into power, but about creating it. It is a story of rising through loyalty rather than bloodline, through results rather than tradition, and through adaptation rather than rigid rules. He did not simply try to destroy every obstacle in his path. He learned to understand them, bend them, and ultimately use them to his advantage. That is why his greatest weapon was not the sword, but his unmatched ability to adapt faster than anyone else. Because the real battles are not only fought on the battlefield, they are fought in the mind, in moments of decision, and in the reactions to chaos and uncertainty. Those who freeze in the face of change become history. Those who shape change write it. Today, we will not examine how old and decaying systems survive, but how they collapse. We will uncover how to challenge the rules imposed upon you, how to stop merely playing the game and start rebuilding it, and how to wield what we call the silent claw of the steppe. Because survival is not about strength alone. Strength by itself is not an advantage. The real advantage belongs to those who see change first, adapt the fastest, and, when necessary, redefine their very nature. In this world, the most dangerous individuals are not the strongest, but those who can transform the fastest. Genghis Khan's greatest strategic genius was not his ability to shoot arrows on horseback or his agility on the battlefield. What truly set him apart was his ability to recognize the invisible chains in people's minds and to break them without hesitation. Because he understood that wars are not won by weapons alone, but by beliefs and assumptions. During his time, the kingdoms and tribes around him made the same critical mistake. They rewarded bloodline over merit. Being the son of a leader mattered more than being capable. Carrying a commander's blood was valued more than knowing how to fight. From the outside, these systems appeared strong, but from within, they were rotting. Talent was suppressed, loyalty was forced, and potential was wasted. Genghis Khan rejected this structure entirely. To him, birthright meant nothing. If a person could fight, lead, and produce results, their past was irrelevant. A slave could rise above a noble. A stranger could prove more trustworthy than a prince. This philosophy was not only fair, it was ruthlessly effective. Because a system built on merit will always learn faster, adapt faster, and grow stronger than one built on bloodline.
That is why his army became unstoppable. Every individual had earned their position, and that made them far more dangerous than ordinary soldiers.
There is a fundamental rule in strategy. If the existing system excludes you, do not waste time trying to fit into it. That system is designed to reject you. If you play by its rules, you will always be at a disadvantage. A true strategist thinks differently. Instead of joining the game, they redesign it. Instead of following rules, they write them. And when necessary, they are willing to destroy the existing order. This destruction is not blind rage. It is calculated reconstruction. First, the weaknesses of the system are identified. Then, those weaknesses are exploited. And finally, as the old order collapses under its own weight, a new system rises in its place.
Blind loyalty to tradition often feels like a safe harbor, but in reality, it is a cage that prevents progress. People defend what they are used to because they fear the unknown. But for a strategist, what matters is not familiarity, it is results. A smart strategist asks one simple question: does this work? If the answer is no, then nothing else matters. Not tradition, not titles, not lineage. And that is where true power emerges. The courage to destroy the old and the intelligence to build the new. Long before the Mongol army reached the gates of a city, fear had already infiltrated its walls. News, rumors, exaggerated tales, and whispers all served a single purpose: to break the enemy before the battle even began. Because a true strategist knows that the shortest war is the one that never needs to be fought. Genghis Khan understood this better than anyone. Before the sharpness of the blade, he targeted the fragility of the human mind. His most effective weapon was not iron, but perception. The moment a person feels defeated in their mind, their body merely becomes a delayed reflection of that outcome. And when an army loses its belief, even the strongest walls cannot save it. As the Mongols advanced, they carried more than just a physical force. They carried a legend. This legend was carefully amplified, fear was deliberately cultivated, and every victory was used as preparation for the next. Cities imagined the Mongol army to be far larger than it actually was, exaggerated their brutality in retellings, and began searching for ways to surrender, even before a battle was imminent. At this point, Genghis Khan's strategy was clear: not merely to defeat the enemy, but to strip them of the will to fight. Because when an enemy no longer wants to fight, the energy required to defeat them drops to a minimum. This preserves resources, increases speed, and triggers a chain reaction of psychological collapse. The generosity shown to those who surrendered was not an act of mercy. It was a calculated message. If you do not resist, you live. The total destruction inflicted on those who resisted was the other side of that message. If you oppose, you are erased. Together, these two extremes created a perfect equilibrium. People believed they were making choices, while in reality, their options had already been defined. This strategy was not emotional, it was mathematical. Fear is a resource that can be controlled.
Applied correctly, it directs behavior. Applied poorly, it backfires. Genghis Khan mastered this balance. He neither created uncontrolled chaos nor displayed weakness through excessive mercy. Every move was calculated, every message intentional.
In strategy, what matters is not just your strength, but how that strength is perceived. Reality itself is less powerful than the way it is interpreted. If your enemy believes you are invincible, the battle is already lost before it begins. That is why the ultimate goal of a leader is not just to win, but to reach a point where victory is expected. Because the moment people sense inevitable defeat, they stop fighting. And in that moment, victory is achieved at the lowest possible cost. A leader must build their reputation so powerfully that their name alone does not just inspire respect, but hesitation. Because hesitation is the enemy of action, and without action, no war can be won. A shadow is not a physical force, yet when used correctly, it can weigh heavier on the enemy than an entire army. And often, it is that shadow that determines the outcome of the war.
Most armies carry their weight into the battlefield, their armor, their traditions, their rigid plans. Over time, that weight becomes a chain that slows them down. While their enemies moved encased in heavy armor and bound by structured strategies, Genghis Khan embodied something entirely different. He was not solid like stone. He was fluid like water, capable of shifting shape, changing direction instantly, and striking from the most unexpected angles. Genghis Khan's approach to warfare was not about concentrating power in a single point, but about keeping it in constant motion. A moving target is difficult to strike, and it disrupts the enemy's ability to make decisions. He identified his opponent's greatest weakness, their dependence on predictability. Humans are conditioned to think within structured, familiar systems, and when faced with the unpredictable, they freeze.
The Mongol army exploited this paralysis with precision. Feigned retreats, calculated withdrawals, and sudden directional shifts created confusion and disorientation. An enemy might believe they had won in one moment, only to find themselves completely surrounded the next. This was not merely a tactic, it was a strategy designed to fracture the enemy's mind. Because the most dangerous moment for any leader is the moment they believe they have already won. That is when vigilance drops and defenses weaken. But speed was not only about movement, it was also about information. And the YAM system, one of the earliest intercontinental communication networks in history, made information a decisive weapon. Through this system, the Mongols received intelligence from across vast distances faster than their enemies, allowing them to adapt their strategies in real time and respond instantly to changing conditions. Those who receive information faster make decisions faster. Those who decide faster act faster. And those who act faster are always one step ahead. Genghis Khan perfected this cycle. That is why his army was not only powerful, it was synchronized with time itself.
In the modern world, the same principle applies. The greatest power is not the largest capital or the greatest resources. The greatest power is the ability to recognize change early and adapt to it faster than anyone else. Today's battles are not fought with swords. They are fought with speed, information, and decisive action. Your enemy may have a perfect plan, but no plan survives reality intact. If you identify its weak point and strike it like a storm, the entire structure collapses in seconds. And when a plan collapses, panic is all that remains. For most people, chaos is an uncontrollable disaster. It disrupts habits, destroys comfort zones, and introduces uncertainty. But for a strategist, chaos is an opportunity.
because in chaos, old rules lose their power and new rules can be written. The unprepared are crushed beneath chaos, but those who are prepared use it as leverage. They shape it, control it, and ultimately turn it to their advantage. And that is where the step storm emerges: speed, unpredictability, and sudden impact. Before your opponent even understands what has happened, the game is already over. Throughout history, countless leaders, armies, and ideologies have risen and fallen. Some were right, some were powerful, and some were simply in the right place at the right time. But only a few possessed the flexibility to bend time itself. Genghis Khan revealed a truth that is both unsettling and unavoidable. The world does not care how right you are. The world does not care how strong you appear. The world only cares how quickly you can transform in the face of change. Because reality is shaped by results, not emotions. Your beliefs, your values, your truths, if they do not move you forward, they can become burdens. And in this world, it is not those who carry weight that survive, but those who can transform it. Genghis Khan's legacy is not merely the lands he conquered, it is the mindset he embodied. He did not accept rules, he rewrote them. He did not recognize boundaries, he erased them. And most importantly, he continuously redefined himself, escaping the fatal trap of stagnation. Today, you face a similar choice. You can remain within the system presented to you, accept its limitations, and eventually become part of it. Or you can question it, identify its weaknesses, and build your own order. Reject the rules, because most are designed to limit you. Honor merit, because real power is born from ability and results. And prepare your mind for the storm, because when change arrives, the unprepared are swept away. Remember, the mind is the ultimate battlefield. If you cannot control your own thoughts, someone else will. And a controlled mind is not free, it is merely directed. So ask yourself, am I truly making my own decisions, or am I executing decisions made for me? Because the answer to that question defines your destiny. This is ancient strategy. We are here to dismantle systems, rebuild order, and help you create your own empire. If you want to move forward with this mindset, subscribe. And remember, stay strategic. Because in this world, survival does not belong to the strongest, but to those who make the right move at the right time.